welcome back to the AM Club. I know you enjoyed every bit of the conversation with the boys. Now you know that we have different types of brothers in this life. Well, my name is Miriam Udwak-Mensah. We're back in the show, and we're plugging into something really exciting. I'm very excited about this. Today, we have a manual to the show. So everybody, they carry book and pen and pencil. They're coming to
a book wait and say, maybe we read them. If we don't read them, we will get
the whole world, shout out to my producer.
I don't go lie, I'm on change with the book.
The whole world, shout out to my producer. Us at 10 o'clock yesterday,
Charlie, 11.
I parked somewhere around airport and I was reading book. I said, this girl.
I don't go lie, this morning said.
Of course, I finished school, can't do this. But
this morning said, I still didn't read them.
I tell you, as I left you like this, I go, they correct my homework. But this what is exciting about the entire thing. It's very relatable. We're talking about a book, right? This is Unchained by John Asogonnde. He will correct that one. Google couldn't pronounce the name for me. So we have John in. Now that's the book we're talking about. Look at it. It's a beautiful cover. I love it. First of all, I love aesthetics. So yeah, this is really good. It's giving. I want to know what is in the book.
Exactly, because when you see
the thing, you're like, ooh, this is
like,
exciting.
I want to read this.
I want to know what is in it.
Who is this?
And the title of the book is Unchained, Embracing Purpose Beyond Addiction. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the gentleman in the house. How are you doing? How do you feel about, how excited we are about the book?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I feel great. It's a pleasure being here.
Today I'm putting my tab down. I hope the book.
I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yes. It's good to have you in the studio. I tried to, because I had less than 24 hours to go through your book. So I tried to go through some of the things and some of the experiences that you had been through. Yeah. And I found it very, very interesting. But this is very real, and people are actually going through it. So to have a gentleman come out and say that I'm going to put my story out there for someone to see how to get out of situations like that, I think that's very commendable, and I would like to give you your roses today. I don't have roses here, but spiritually,
I'll take it after the show.
Yes, take your roses. Jay is going to start with us.
My brother.
Yes.
In fact, he's my brother, so
he
knows. Yes, from way back from the when I saw Blackberry in there, I was like, oh, John didn't. John didn't. But anyways, with regards to this particular book, I mean, someone would have said that, well, I would stay back, keep everything to myself, and I wouldn't write a book. How was it challenging? What was the challenge involved to bring this out? Because this is your story. This is your cobweb. This is what is in there that people probably didn't even know, but you're putting it out there so that at least it could help someone. From the onset, were you afraid? Obviously not, because it's out. But run us through what's running through your mind when you're writing all this.
Yeah, I strongly believe in the power of testimonies. My whole transformation has been largely successful because I love to share my testimony. It helps me to stay in check. It helps to keep me accountable, and also seeing that people are inspired by my story to also, transform their lives is very fulfilling. So it's always come easy to me to be willing to share my story. And which other way than to write a book? I've always loved writing since I was a kid. So I think that's one of the best ways I'm able to express myself. So yeah, that's what.
So it wasn't challenging at all.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't challenging.
Not really. So for me, one of the things that I try to do when I get into a book, any kind of book, I try to look for the content. But I want to see the chapter that excites me, really and truly. And I can carry a whole book and read 2 chapters in it and then throw the book away. Yes. Because the one that gets my attention is what I'm going to read. So I apply the same method with your book because, again, I needed to know what it is that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. And I saw Don't Fight, Run. That's chapter 10 of your book.
Chapter 10, yes.
And I'm like, okay, since we've read about the book and it talks about an addiction, now I want to really know about why I should not fight it but run. And going through the entire chapter, I realized that you were telling us about how you got out of sexual addictions and of course, how you stayed away completely. And you didn't completely stay away, bro. You did not. You allowed yourself to play the Jesus Christ in the story and see how God can divinely deliver you, which, by the way, a lot of Christians do.
Yes.
they will carry coal in their bosom and hope it doesn't burn them, and we all do that. And
Yeah.
especially when you're coming out of a difficult place like an addiction. I don't know about Jay. I have battled an addiction before, and it was crazy trying to figure find my way out of it.
Yeah.
This book should have come a bit earlier, but I'm sure someone will be helped by this. Tell me about the coping mechanisms that you had lined out. You talked about self-awareness. You talked about learning to know your environment and choosing the right people in your space. How did you apply all these things? Because first of all, when I looked at the story, one of the things that you did is you didn't apply knowing your environment, knowing the people to bring in and those not to, those to keep out.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling?
No, because chapter 10 is very interesting. I mean, the story, as you said, it was. I think it was an honest mistake.
Yes.
I didn't really anticipate, the dangers of allowing certain people in.
Yeah.
So I made a mistake. But also, I learned a very valuable lesson from that mistake.
Yeah.
Because I now understood that, you don't have to try to fight it. Don't, like the Bible says, flee from temptation.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see yourself like, oh, hard guy, you can still march through, the temptation. And so that was a very valuable lesson I learned from that experience, and that's why I write it over there. But some of the coping mechanisms, change of environment, change of habits. So I picked up, good habits.
Yeah.
Instead of smoking, you'd find me reading. Instead of going to the club to drink, you find me maybe walking.
But let's be very honest on this. That's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to choose something else apart from the things that you're addicted
Yeah.
to. What did you exactly do? How did you put yourself in that space that I am not going to pick that joint, I'm going to pick a book? What did you do?
Yes, so that is why I always attribute my salvation, my transformation to God.
Okay.
Because God makes it easy. He just makes it smooth. If you try to do it by yourself, by your strength, you may not be able to go far. But once you introduce God into the picture, He gives you the strength to be able to march on. So I believe what did it for me and what made it easy for me to say, okay, for instance, I'm not going to pick a joint, I'm going to pick a book. It's just because of the God factor. He gave me that strength to realize that, you can do this. And I didn't have to battle the withdrawal symptoms or all of those, effects that come with, staying away from drugs.
Any phobia for anyone who actually went to Kobo Girls?
Chapter 3, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so John will just come out and probably, or would you, if you should have a daughter, would you send her to Kobo Girls? That's a tough one, eh?
That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't say no because I don't have anything against the school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good school. It's just
all because of
Kobo Girls. Yeah.
But anyways, so the book is out. Away from that, how have your folks taken this? And even after the whole addiction process and all that, I mean, we saw a lot of points where is your mom talking to you? I mean, and still it went on and on and on and on. But the people around you, your family, how are they taking this Unchained?
Yeah, they've been very supportive throughout my journey. So even the dedication page is dedicated. The whole book is dedicated to them. They've been extremely supportive. When I was first getting out of the addiction, they were always there for me through it all, through the years. They've always supported me. Even with the businesses I've established, my sisters have been so supportive. With this book, everybody in my family has just been so supportive, and it's very encouraging to have a family like that because it helps to keep you grounded, and it helps to motivate you to keep going.
So what would be the best advice to people out there? Because we just realized that, I mean, whatever you're going through or whatever you may be going through, it would also depend on the people who are around you. Mind you, we did touch on the Banky W story where we did realize that the people around him are making him, get out of the situation that it is. So it depends on the people who are around you. Do you agree?
It's very key. I mean, the people around you is so crucial to, the way you live your life, the way you do your things. So for families out there who may have their wards or, members of the family who are addicted, you need to support them. You need to show them love. There's not a time to push them away. Bring them in, show them that you're with them, and help them in whichever way you can, to help them rehabilitate.
In choosing the title, that wasn't where I wanted to go, but I just noticed it's on your shirt, so I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. In choosing the title for the book or the name for the book, why Unchained? Why did you choose that?
I believe that every human at some point in your life, you'd be bound by certain chains. My chains were addiction, vices, and all of those. But people have different kinds of chains. It could be poverty, it could be sickness, it could be, mental. It could be anything. And so I wanted a book to be so relatable that anybody that found themselves bound or stuck somewhere can know that there is a way to get out. There's a way to break free from those chains. Yeah, so that's basically where the name.
You stated also in chapter 10, because that's my favorite part. Honestly, that's my favorite part of the book. That fleeing away from, like the Bible instructed us to do, fleeing from these temptations is not cowardice. It's not. You know how we like to prove that I have God, so I have everything, so I can face every situation. You encourage that it's not you being a coward. It is you actually facing things how it's supposed to be done. I want us to come back to the part where you talked about speaking positively. So words of affirmation to yourself. You and I know that when you have told yourself that you are something, when you've told yourself that you are weak, you are nothing, you're useless because of the things that you're going through, it is hard to tell yourself that you're great. What did you exactly do at that particular point? Again, I know you're going to name the God factor because I saw him show up a lot in the book. Yeah. So the God factor plays a huge role. But as a human being and as an individual, what did you do to make sure that the words of affirmation supersede every other thing that is going on in your mind?
Yeah, so I think that largely has to do with identity as well, knowing yourself and knowing your identity. And that is captured tentatively in chapter 16, I believe, Purpose and Identity. Yeah. So I was able to form an identity for myself after I'd come out from addiction because of a vision I had. I recollected, I sat down, reflected on my whole life, and I remembered the dreams I had as a child, when I was 6 years old, what I wanted to be in future, some of the aspirations I had. And looking back, at those memories, reinforced the kind of identity I wanted to project. And so I say that there because a lot of people, when you're young, that's when you have the biggest ambitions, the biggest dreams. But you go through life with adulthood and everything, sometimes you forget, but when you reflect, sometimes those dreams can give you a reassurance of who you are, and then it can help you form a better identity for yourself. And then now when you are given words of affirmation, you can find it easy to believe them. Because it's coming from a deeper place, right? And from the depths of the heart.
Has your experience changed your path in life? So, for instance, you probably wanted to be one thing, but because of your experience, it sort of navigated you towards a different angle of life. Did that happen to you? Because it happened to me. So
yeah, it did. But you know what the Bible says? All things work together for good to them that love the Lord. So I believe that every path I've gone through, has been an orchestration by God to lead me to the expected end. So even though it may have, distracted my path a bit, I think it's all good.
What did you want to be growing up?
I wanted to be president.
Okay. Are you still going to be president?
If God wills.
If God wills.
Remember, it has a John.
Oh my God, yeah.
It has a John.
Now we have an another, so he has broken that cycle.
We can go back to the John. We can go back to the John. But you did mention that you met Hush Puppy.
Yeah. Did you?
I did.
Did you ever think he was living a lie?
Yeah, I knew he was a fraud. He was a fraud, but it didn't even bother me because we're living the life. Yeah. So once he's coming to the club and he's buying drinks or he's
you are making your money.
Yeah, so it didn't bother me, but I knew he was living a lie.
Right. And when you heard he had been arrested, by that time were you already?
Yeah, by that time I was already out. So I was like, no wonder. But when I was still in the world with him, I'll put him on a high pedestal, or I would give him that honor, but it wasn't supposed to be the case, so.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Now, in the book, this is what I got. Choice. Very, 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 very crucial. your choice, how what you choose would definitely make or make you. Self-discovery. At a point where you are reflecting on foundation, all right? How did you get to the self-discovery part? Because sometimes it's very difficult because you're in the midst of so many things and you just don't know which where to go. I mean, what would be your best advice towards that? Because it's in your book.
Yeah, self-discovery is a process. You know, you can't fully discover yourself in a day or in a short period of time. It's something that you do every single day. And I've learned to take it one day at a time. You know, so you don't try to figure it all at once. You can have a vision for where you want to be in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. You have a plan for that, but then take it one day at a time. What can I do today that would lead me to the future I want tomorrow? You know, so that's basically how I go about it.
My follow-up will be for you as John, and all through up to this time that we do know that there's a difference between John Hammett and John Asogonnde.
Yeah.
Now, moving forward, what would you say is, or how far is too much? Let me put it that way for you.
How far is too much?
Yes.
I mean, there are boundaries that need to be in place. We are here there, as they say. You know, life is good, but if you have a vision, if you have a purpose, and you know where you want to be, there are certain things that, although they are sweet, although they bring, you know, some sort of maybe happiness or satisfaction in the meantime, you discipline yourself and stay away from it. They call it what gratification. You delay gratification just because of the future you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a lot of boundaries in place. There are so many things you not find me doing, and it's not because they're necessarily wrong, but it's because I feel like there's a better future for me, and so I can delay that and then have it later. Let's
talk about boundaries a little bit. So for an individual who has gone out of an addiction and who has struggled with self-identity, you know, at a point in life, setting boundaries looks to people like, who do you think you are? You know, why do you think you can tell me that? So what do you feel? Like, you know, it feels like a command. Like, so boundaries, some people feel like boundaries is, don't talk to me like this, but rather it's something like, if you talk to me like this, I'm going to walk out of this room and you're not going to see me back in this room again. That is boundaries. But people see that as, you know,
yeah.
How did you set the right boundaries?
I get that a lot, you know, but most of the times I just apply wisdom. Like you just said, if someone is talking to you in a way you don't like, I will not fight with you. I'll just walk away.
Yeah.
And you not see me again. And, you know, it's up to you. So you apply wisdom, and also when you know that you're on the right path, then whatever people say doesn't bother you. I know I'm on the right path, so no matter the backlash I get, it's like starting Eden Bar. When I wanted to open Eden Bar, people said it was crazy. Why would you open a non-alcoholic bar? But I knew I was on the right path. I knew what I wanted to do. So I didn't let any of those naysayers get to me.
Yeah.
And finally, I established it.
How's Eden Bar doing? And what is the patronage like? Do we see a lot of Christians passing through?
We do, actually. Eden Bar is amazing. We have, I think you guys had Kopisam here yesterday. Kopisam has had events there, massive events. You put up a stage, performed with Scott Evans and all of those people. So it's been an amazing experience over there. We've been able to curate, you know, something truly wonderful and unique for people who don't want to drink but just want to go out and have a good time. Yeah. So that's what he did. He's been there. You were there.
I've been there. I've been there throughout.
I probably have to pass by.
Yeah, Eden Bar is Eden Bar. You get all the shots which are non-alcoholic, please.
Yes, he had to take that one.
Yes. But John, despite the transformation and everything, do you have the people that were there when it was all the John Hammett session and all that? Do you have them? How do they feel about it? Do you have them coming back at you like, but I knew you, this kind of guy, you this kind of thing, or some of them are changed? So
some of them are changed, actually. I think you know a few of them. Faisal, you know, we used to party together, but he's also changed.
Faisal, I love what he's becoming.
Champagne.
I love Faisal right now. I see him do the videos. I'm like, No,
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, so Faisal and I would be in the club, you know, chasing
Yeah.
around girls, getting drunk and all that. But he's also changed. But for those who are still there, I think they respect my decision. They've seen the growth. They've seen, because in the beginning they didn't believe it was even possible.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes some people were like, "Oh, Charlie, in 1 month you come back.
come back.
You know, in 2 months you come back." It's been over 5 years. So at this point, they know that Charlie, the guy
There's
is
no
not
coming back.
So I think they respect that, and some of them are actually inspired by that to also become better in their own works.
Do you try to encourage them by telling them that? Because sometimes encouragement looks like, oh, you're going to make it. But sometimes encouragement really is, it's going to be tough. Do you have those conversations with them, and what does it look like?
I do. You know, the thing about my approach is that I wouldn't force you, because if you force someone to quit drugs, yeah, maybe they'll stop for a month and they'll go back. It has to come from within. They have to get to that point where they know themselves that this thing is not helpful, this thing is not helping me. And then you are willingly trying to make an effort to quit. Then that way, when I come in, it's easier.
It's easier.
So I wouldn't come and force anybody to quit smoking. If you want to keep smoking, Charlie,
Please smoke on.
it's your
Smoke your
business.
destiny away.
Wow, John, this has been a very,
I'm
very
telling you.
enlightened conversation.
telling you.
And I don't know why my producer that, okay, it's okay, I won't put you on
And
there
I knew
like
it
that.
was going to be, because when I opened the book and I started looking at the content table and the part that I chose to, I knew that we're going to be speaking to a very deep gentleman, and it's going to, I love the fact that you touched on boundaries, because it is an area of change that people never appreciate.
Right.
It's like you can change, but don't set boundaries. You can be whatever,
Yeah.
but don't set boundaries. Just
Doesn't
be
work that
who.
way.
It doesn't work that way. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Great. Quickly, if anybody should just pick up the book and just run through, and probably not read all, but just, you know, glance through, what do you think will be that one thing that that person will take away from this book?
Purpose. I think that's one thing I want people to take out of it. You know, purpose brings fulfillment. So people who are not happy, people who don't see their life moving anywhere, you can pick purpose from this book and then, you know, have a better life.
John, how can we get the book?
Yes, so we just
It's
launched.
about that time. It's about that time.
Yeah.
we just launched, and the book is available everywhere they sell books. Bookstores, Amazon, Eden Bar, you can come for a signed copy. Yeah.
How much
it's
is it going
everywhere.
for?
It's 150 CDs.
Oh,
I'll see.
John, me, from all this day, me visit 1,005 B and now 5,000 B. Ah, 150. Oh.
But it's good, because
Oh.
it's a book that is going to change lives, so everybody should be able to have access to it. Thank you for this book. Thank
Yes,
you so
John.
much for this
God
book.
bless you for
Thank
this.
you,
I mean,
John.
we-
How do you pronounce your name?
Asogonnde.
Asogonnde. Asogonnde, thank you. Thank you, because I know my generation is going to be touched by this book. I know a lot of young girls are going to have this book and find purpose. So thank you. And thank you for availing yourself to be used for this particular time and season. We wish you all the very best. Edinburgh, so you be here. Louis,
Edinburgh.
we'll go to
Okay, so
Edinburgh.
with regards to Edinburgh, quickly, if somebody wants to, you know, probably have an event there, what's the process like?
Yeah, so Eden Bar, we are open to having events, birthday parties, any kind of party you want to have. We are strictly non-alcoholic, so you can't come and convince us to sell alcohol. It's not happening
Don't bring it there even.
at all. So that's what we are. But yeah, we are open to people from all walks. We are located in Tesano. You can go to our website, edenbargh.com. Everything you need is there.
Most definitely. So there you have it, Edinburgh. And of course, please grab a copy of Unchained, Embracing Purpose Beyond Addiction, brought you kind courtesy John Asogonnde. And this is a brother, so I mean, way back, way back. So I'm very excited to see this transformation.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, because when I did meet him at Eden Bar, this is what John told me. He was like, "My brother, we've seen the light," and I was like, "Yes."
Yeah. And all of you, I mean, look at Jay. When I knew Jay, Jay was trouble, yeah. When I knew Jay, yeah. When I knew Jay, yeah. Jay was addicted to stubbornness, but yeah. Now look at Jay. Now look at Jay.
But man,
You have been saved.
This is it. So
I'm proud of you.
We'll
I'm
definitely
proud of
not
you.
push you. As John said,
It
we'll
will
definitely
happen.
push you.
Yeah.
I keep saying, people are like, but this guy used to do this, used to do that, used to do this, used to do that. How is he changed right now?
We really do our power.
The time will come.
Go come. Nobody will force you.
Nobody will tell you anything. No. You go there,
No one will force you.
you will have that conviction. And I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
No.
but hey, this has been a great conversation. I'm so excited that I get to meet young men like you. And Jay, I'm so proud of you that you are no longer a stubborn Jay. Thank you also so much for being a part of this particular show. You held Jay down for a week for me, guys. Thank you so much. We're doing this again next week from Monday to Friday. It's 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. My name is Miriam Udwa Kamensa.
My name is Kodjo Dasabre. Please have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. God bless you. Bye.